Good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever time it is while you're watching this. Welcome to the Wings on Which We Fly, an interview where we take a deeper look into our Air Force ROTC team and simultaneously battle the heat from spicy wings. My name is Cadet Bailey Empey, and today I'm joined by Lieutenant Colonel Chay Derbigny. Lieutenant Colonel Derbigny is an Air Force Academy graduate from the class of 2008, who has amassed several thousand hours as a U-28 pilot, completed several deployments, and instructed at schoolhouses such as the Air War College. Now he is the presiding commander for AFRTOC Detachment 205. Lieutenant Colonel Derbigny, welcome.
Yeah, so Air Command and Staff College.
Air Command and Staff
Air
College.
Command and Staff College, yeah. People would laugh at me teaching at the Air War College when I just did correspondence.
So are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
How are you around spicy things?
I do like spicy. So like if you go to a Thai restaurant, they say what's the spice level up to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually am like a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
But I saw Carolina Reaper on that top one, and I know what that does to my mouth. I probably won't be doing too much of. It might not even touch the lips.
Well, we'll scale up and we'll feel it out as we go.
Yeah. We might not even get to the 6th one. That's right.
We'll do our best. We'll at least get through these 6 questions for sure. Quick disclaimer: this is not in any way, shape, or form an original idea. As you can see, these are name brand Hot One sauces, and we do not claim that to be our own idea. We're not affiliated with First We Feast, Hot Ones, or any of their partners. This is merely just a passion project and hopefully a fun little thing that we can continue to do.
Legal's very proud of you right now. Good work.
I try my best. First wing, sir. This is the buffalo hot sauce.
Oh, it's good.
It'd be very,
My favorite,
very
yeah.
mild.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Very classic.
What would be the spice level on that?
That is a 2 of 10.
2 of 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What drove you to join the Air Force, attend the Air Force Academy, and then ultimately become a pilot?
So I'll just start back in high school. My mom came back from work one day, said one of her colleagues, her son, was at the Air Force Academy prep school, and that we had an opportunity to go visit during Parents' Weekend because she knew I wanted to fly. I didn't know much about the military at the time. In fact, when I said, yeah, I'll go to Colorado, this sounds like a fun trip. I was a sophomore in high school. Why not? Free trip to Colorado. I was telling friends I was going to visit the Naval Academy in Colorado Springs. And I probably told dozens of people. And it wasn't until my buddy Jay Miller, his dad overheard me. And he's like, son, there's not much water in Colorado Springs. I think you're going to the Air Force Academy. I was like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He walked away, just shaking his head. No, that boy's not making it in the academy. Enjoy Colorado, young man. So that sticks with me, right? You remember that because it was so embarrassing. And then you tell me I can't do something too. And it's like, just watch me. So I go out there, I visit, and it just seems like a greater calling. Right?
Yes, sir.
The only people that served in my family were my granddad. He served in World War II and as a reservist in the Korean and Vietnam War. So awesome war hero, but didn't talk about it much. And he was Navy, so that's where I think I got the naval from as a young sophomore in high school. And so I go visit, and it just seems like a higher calling, something greater than myself, something that just seems way more impactful than going the typical civilian route, right? And so I come back from that trip, this is 2001. A week later, 9/11 happens. Solidified everything that I wanted to go do this. So we called admissions and what do I need to do? Get straight A's, you got to do well on your ACT or SAT, get involved in every program and club that you can. So I already played sports, but then I volunteered for student council, and I was in the ski club and tried to get president type leadership jobs, went back to the Boy Scouts, finished my Eagle Scout. And so that was the drive going there. 9/11 really solidified it. But it was just a greater calling, something bigger than yourself. It seemed like I got to try this.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. And then becoming a pilot?
So I knew I wanted to play center field for Chicago Cubs. That's what I wanted to do, right? A lot of little kids growing up that wanted to be pro athletes, right? But you need a backup, and so I was like, I'll fly. And my stepdad at the time was like, this kid doesn't want to fly, because I was going to come here, and it's expensive to be in the program. I accepted the flying program here at SIU. And he was, my stepdad was just like, he has not asked about flying. He's not asked to go do anything. He has no planes in his room. Why are we going to pay for this? My mom was like, if he wants to try that, I'm not going to stop that from him, and he's a determined kid. So if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. My mom knew me well. And so going to the academy was perfect. I got to play baseball and the opportunity to fly.
Got to do both.
So I get there and I get some flights, and I was thinking maybe that's not what I want to do. The 10-year commitment scared me like it does a lot of the cadets here. And the academy is such a good education that an opportunity in the civilian world to go make a lot of money. You know, a young, dumb kid, you're just chasing dollars sometimes. But I had a great mentor, my high school coach, Kaz, who's still my college coach, who is now the head coach of the academy. He was like, Chay.
Oh, it's not coming in already.
No, it's not, no.
We got a lot to go.
He's like, where do you see yourself when you're 33, 34 years old? I'm like, I don't know, making a lot of money. He's like, you're an idiot. You know what the Air Force does? And I'm like, yeah, we fly planes. He's like, we drop bombs on bad guys' foreheads and get people equipment to the fight. Everything else supports it. Go fly, you idiot. You have an opportunity. That's where you come to the academy. You get a almost guaranteed pilot slot as long as you graduate.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, coach. So I go. And I'm going to share this again on my commander's call today. So sorry, you're going to hear this twice.
This is the practice run.
Yeah, you're hearing the full version though. And so then I go to pilot training, but I'm kind of lost. I was there because my coach told me to do it, you know, and flying seemed cool, but I was just not 100% in it. I didn't know what I wanted to fly. I'm just like, hey, I got this job. I did well enough for the academy to get a pilot slot. All right, I'm here. And so I went, meditated in the woods for 24 hours, fasted. Just water in a tent, me alone, reading Wild at Heart. And out of that, just prayer, man of faith, I came out of it saying, you want to be in the fight. You're here to make a difference. That's why you wanted to do this, is thinking back on why I joined the academy. Go be in the fight. Fighters, they got fight in the name. So I'm like, I want to be a fighter pilot. Let's go. So that flipped me, and I was like, that's what I'm ready. I'm going to do this, and I'm probably going to make this a career too, because I got this calling. I feel like this is what I want to do. Didn't get a fighter out of pilot training, but my second choice, Special Operations Command. So I got in the U-28.
Right.
Yeah, the grace of God. So, and I got to be in the fight. The only plane I had a crush on. If I go back in time and I was taking any plane or any platform you want, right, out of pilot training, A-10 and then the U-28. So really fortunate to be in that, because that plane was built for that fight. Fighters, unfortunately, weren't built to chase little guys in a moto through the woods and collateral damage.
Right.
So, but our U-28 was built for that mission. So I got to be in the fight and had a huge impact, saving good guys and killing bad guys.
So this one is Sriracha hot sauce, 3 of 10.
Okay, Sriracha's not too bad.
No, it's not good. Not my favorite flavor-wise, but shouldn't be too bad.
Cheers. I haven't had Sriracha in a while.
Never had it on a wing.
I haven't either, I don't think.
It's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Deployed when we can get them. I throw Sriracha on like a lot of my spaghetti, just spice it up.
No, it's a lifesaver, flavor-wise. So, going in, you already kind of answered it. If you could have flown any other aircraft, what would it have been? And if you want to elaborate, since you already kind of touched on that.
The A-10, and at the time, I really wanted JSF, so F-35 out of pilot training. They weren't dropped out of pilot training at the time, so it was F-16 to follow on JSF was what I really wanted. And so that's what I would have wanted back then, but after seeing the times I was fighting Afghanistan from 2011 up through when I went back with NSAV, all the way through 2019, I suppose, my last Africa deployment, CENTCOM, that was the fight, taking out terrorists. So you wanted close air support. And the A-10, when they were in the stack, just imagine a bunch of planes over how we're at a target, right? We're trying to take out bad guys or try to capture them to collect intel. The A-10 was designed for that mission, right? The SA, situation awareness they had in the battlefield with just the 2 wingmen and their little pod, their little sensor, compared to we had the U-28, which is a huge sensor. You can zoom in, full color, so many capabilities in that thing. How they can keep situational awareness in the battlefield, and then they'd be the first asset if there was any troops in contact to use their 30mm cannon off the front. And just seeing those strafing runs from our big cameras, 14,000 feet above, just made me jealous. You know, it's like that.
Not alone in that.
That's what I wanted.
It is.
That looks freaking sweet. And then the amount of love the guys on the ground have for the A-10, because the sound it makes, and just how effective it is. And just having SA on the battlefield to know where the blue forces are and where the bad guys are to make sure there is no collateral damage. Just a sweet mission set.
Absolutely.
They built that plane around the freaking 30mm cannon. You know, so
I couldn't agree more. You ready for the third wing, sir?
I guess.
Let's do it.
It's not too bad yet.
No, this is barbacoa, so this should be very flavorful.
Is this 4?
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. Okay, cheers. That's some good flavor. It's not too bad.
What did a typical weekend look like for you in Colorado Springs while you're at the academy?
A typical weekend?
Typical weekend. Or like a good weekend.
So it depends. So I played baseball. So in season, that was you're either on the road or you're playing games.
Right.
So that just is all taken up. But in the fall, we also had fall ball, which would be a couple months of the year. But when we weren't in season, our weekends would be, if it wasn't a silver weekend, meaning training weekend, we usually want at least one of those a month, or we're doing some type of drill, kind of like we do our flex
Right.
here. It's just a whole weekend of that. So if we weren't doing those things, then we had the weekend off. So in the wintertime, like a lot of our baseball guys and some friends, we'd go rent a house and go skiing in the mountains, snowboarding. It was a blast. Or to go fishing or camping. Sometimes we go up to Boulder, for like Halloween. We go up to experience a weekend in a normal college campus. As an upperclassman, as an underclassman, a little harder to do that.
Right.
Because you get so many passes. But as an upperclassman, you can go do those things. And that'd be our opportunity to kind of enjoy college life and try to stay out of trouble.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah, but in season, once we came back from the Christmas holiday break, it was just all baseball in school. There was no free time, none at all.
That makes sense.
But I love baseball, so that was my free time. I wanted to be on the field every hour of the day.
Wing number 4. This is the Rojo sauce. 5 out of 10.
So
correct. Directly across. Yep.
Yes.
There we go. Cheers.
5 out of 10.
Yes, sir. I've had this one. It's very good.
Yes, it's not too bad yet. I'd say that's like a 5 tie hot, maybe 6.
If I had to guess, though, this is where we're opening the door.
Probably.
I think we entered another room at this point.
All right.
Alrighty. Being an Academy cadet yourself and now an Air Force ROTC Detachment Commander, what are some similarities, differences, and how do you think the two environments shape their cadets to become officers? That's a lot of questions.
That's a great question. It's basically the difference, what I'm getting at is the basic difference between Academy, Air Force Academy cadet, and ROTC cadet.
And what they do, the same, kind of just...
Yeah, I didn't know much about ROTC at all until I started applying for this job, which you could say is a foul on me. I just figured people went to normal college and, doing their one day a week of play military, and then your college student the rest of the time. So I'll start with the experience in AFROTC and how impressed I am with the ability of all of our cadets to time manage, right? It is you learn how to adult a lot faster and more effectively in the environment of ROTC. Right? Most of our cadets have to work. Academy cadets don't have to work, right? Most of them have classes that they have to go to, but they don't have the same accountability like the Academy cadets. So unless we find out your grades aren't doing well here in AFROTC, then we don't know if you're going to class or not.
Right.
In the Academy, you have to go to class, right? So there's some control in that, and you're managing that, your whole calendar, except for your AFROTC events, is kind of white space for you. So do I need to get a job? How much do I work out? How much am I studying? With the Academy, the whole day is planned for you. You got a mandatory breakfast, you have to go to class, and then if you don't, you better have an excuse, or you better be in the clinic getting some meds. Right? And then for me playing baseball, you had mandatory lunch, and a lot of times it'd be formation where the whole wing would march to lunch, and then I'd have maybe 30 minutes to check email before heading down to the field all afternoon, and then making it up just before Mitchell Hall, our dining facility, would close at 7:15 at night. So that was my day, and then I'd get back to the dorms and a academic call to quarters. So it's quiet time for everybody to study until bedtime, which I think was at 10 o'clock. It's when they play taps. And then I'd usually have to stay up later because my schedule was so busy, so I wasn't getting to bed till like midnight to make sure I got all of my schoolwork done, plus my me time, because I'd go crazy if I didn't get to watch a show or catch up on the Cubs or whatever hobbies I had going on at the time, or just chat with friends. So I usually fall asleep on midnight 30 type thing, and we're waking up at 5:45 in the morning for getting ready for mandatory breakfast. So I average about 5 hours of sleep at the Academy, least amount of free time I've had in my life, and sleep. And I got 3 kids now. My youngest just turned 3. So I mean, any parents out there, it's hard to sleep with little ones, and this, I got more sleep with my, raising kids than I did as a cadet at the Academy.
Wow.
Which in hindsight, I would have done a better job with that, knowing that what I know now and how much sleep affects your performance. So basically the differences are Academy, your hand is held, right? And if you're going to know if you mess up because everybody's watching you. ROTC, you have to learn to manage that time way more effectively and learn how to prioritize your things on your own a lot. Because, unless you're living the LLC, most people are scattered all over the place, which I do love that you guys choose to live together, which helps build that kind of camaraderie and you're around each other a little more to talk about what you need to do. But yeah, I'd say ROTC cadets are more ready to start their life as adults. I think the academy has an advantage in the networking, just because you have so many people that you graduated with that, and our coach, the same coach that convinced me to say yes to flying, which thank you, Coach Kaz. He said that we have this eagle and fledgling statue right in front of Mitchell Hall. It says, "A man's flight through life is sustained by the power of his knowledge." Totally true, right? If you're not learning, you're dying. That's what we say in our house. He changed the last word knowledge to friends. A man's flight through life is sustained by the power of his friends, which I've really embodied that is so true, because don't burn down bridges, right? Keep those paths open. If you meet somebody, put that in your phone, write that, because you'll never know when you run into them again, or when she might be that person that can help you through a difficult process, or you're moving to a new spot and like that might be the only person you know, right. Which really helps that transition in the military, and it helps you achieve objectives when you can call people that know more than you do, or if you have those resources. We don't need to know everything. Just have a bunch of friends who know a lot of different stuff, and you're going to be successful.
Calling for questions and favors.
Yeah, and so I think that's where I think there's a big benefit in the academy is that networking. You have all of those cadets that you spent 4 years with. You do have it here, but there's obviously just a lot less.
Yes, sir.
And then you also have that network of 1,000 cadets a year they're producing, and the rite of passage type thing. Oh, you're academy grad? There's an easier connection sometimes than somebody from SIU meeting somebody that goes to San Jose State.
That makes sense.
So there's pros and cons to both, but I think it's good that we have those different options because it brings different perspectives to different units. It's diversity of thought. That's
all right.
What we want.
We're on to wing number 5. This is Tropical Amarillo. 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10, okay. A little, what is this? Some turmeric in there? Maybe some curry?
It does. It tastes like that. Sweet Scotch bonnet.
Yeah, it's like a sweet curry.
It does taste very curry forward. That's tasty though.
It's very good. Yeah, some mustard seed. Yeah, some turmeric. Nailed it.
You've often mentioned the correlation between sports, teamwork, and the military. As a lifelong athlete, what is something you've learned that affected your development as an Air Force officer and how you approach leadership?
Man, good question. It's like I swear he did not tell me about these. I love it. You give me some softballs. Being the captain of the Air Force baseball team was perhaps the number one leadership experience I've got in my entire career, for Air Force specifically.
Wow.
And I say that because academy, it's hard to recruit, top tier 5-star athletes. We rarely get those because if you're that good, like me growing up, you want to go play for the pros. In the academy, it's very hard to go pro from that. Paul Skeen's a good example. It's like, I have the skills to get drafted maybe in the first round, number 1 overall, it turns out. So he made the right choice to leave before he was committed, go play at LSU before he got picked up. So that right there, that's a barrier to getting the good athletes there. So I say that, so we have a bunch of Division II or like lower tier Division I athletes trying to compete with all these other schools that have the 5-star recruits. And we don't have many next men up, right? Where a lot of times you go to LSU, it's like, all right, this person felt next man up. We don't have that. We got to go to battle with the team we have, right? So trying to motivate folks that don't have the same priorities or trying to make sure they get the grades up so they can play, right? To get them to work that a little bit more to help us compete against these other, like we have to be the strongest team and play together and work the hardest, be the hardest working athletes in the country to be able to compete. And so trying to motivate them, there was a lot of clashes,
right.
And I've learned through that process, I can't be that firm. Like academy is tough, man. Right? I mean, I think I averaged 19 credit hours there. I had one semester of over 21 and a half credit hours, right? And like you hear 18 here, it's like, that's wild. I mean, that was the norm at the academy.
Special approval above 18, yeah.
And it's all tech, right? So it's all bachelor of science, so it's not easy. You're forced to take astronautical engineering, aeronautical engineering, double E, right? And, physics 1 and 2, you have to take all of those, even if you're a fuzzy major, we like to say, a non-tech major. So all those things are challenging for folks, trying to keep that up, plus try to work hard in the field to get better, to throw faster, run faster, hit the ball farther.
And I'm sure there's some strong personalities as well.
Of course, a lot of type A's. So, and that's not unique for the military, right? No. So learning how to motivate people in a different way, like people tick differently, right? Knowing that my leadership style of being like the motivational and like hoorah and get frustrated when people aren't doing well, not everybody responds to that, right? Some people need the calm, like, let's go for a walk, or hey, what's going on, like what can we help with, type of thing, which really helped build me as a leader to understand that not everybody responds to yelling or intensity all the time. Like that's how I grew up in high school. Our coaches were all very intense, and I figured that, well, we won there, but we had a next man up. We had a huge high school. So that worked. If you can handle it, you're out. Next person up. Couldn't do that at the Air Force Academy. And you can't do that in the Air Force, and really it's a lesson for life because you can't act that way in a corporate setting either.
Can't approach everything the same way.
It's kind of toxic leadership, So that's where I learned. I had more self-awareness about that. So
sounds like a great stepping stone, though.
Yeah, and then just the competition, right? Like this is what we do. We fight and win. We fly, fight, and win the Air Force. And like you want people to your left and right are going to want to fight for you, So the team aspect of it, when you say to leadership how that affects me or how that impacts the way I lead now, I just told you that was one of my best leadership experiences, trying to compete against Division I people trying to beat us. That's like the closest thing that I can think of to trying to beat our adversaries in combat, right? And when you have a team of people that are trying to beat another college team or high school team in sports, all working together, I'm a badass, you're a badass, right? I'm trying to be the best badass of the team, but we're all a team of badass that's going to beat that enemy, right? And you get that practice every day. That's why I love the competition of sport, especially when it comes to competing in our military.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You ready for the last wing, sir? This is the finish line.
I'm probably going to my tongue on it first and see what happens.
Well, I think we've been chugging along pretty strong so far. However, the tradition with this bottle, and the reason it's called the last dab, is traditionally you put just a little dab on the top. You don't have to. I'm going to, but that's the tradition.
I have to do that.
But you know what? I'm going to do it the smart way. I've seen this done. You put it on the plate first.
All right.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
I took way too big of a bite of that one.
I'm already sweating.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
We went from 6 to 20.
Yep.
Which is great.
Don't lick your fingers.
I'll speed up this last question. Wow. All right.
That's not as bad as I remember. Oh, whew.
It's developing.
It's not getting any better.
Process.
It's getting worse.
Going into the last year as commander of Detachment 205, what is a goal / change you would like to see accomplished that would hopefully live past your time here?
Oh,
man.
This is the last question. This.
Yes, sir.
My tongue is on fire.
I was overzealous. I was going to bring milk, but...
This hurts. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So, one thing I've been fighting is we need to get you guys a professional development space. So, every detachment I looked at locally, like U of I, ISU, SLU, University of Iowa, Wisconsin, everybody has a professional development space for their cadets. Meaning a conference table like this, a whiteboard, maybe some couches for a little bit of morale, so you can plan your lead labs. Right now, you guys are doing this at your dorm rooms. You're doing it at random spots without a lock and key where you can keep stuff out, and like in your planning. A library. So I want that. Chancellor Lane, if you watch this, please. We're waiting 2.5 years for this. We tore down Kesner Hall. We're the only det that I know of nationwide that doesn't have that space. So that's something that I've been pushing for. But when we first got here, we worked on a strat plan, 5-year strat plan, strategic plan, because we're fighting viability in our det. And so our cadre and I just did a whole down day where we just put on the board what our mission statement, what our vision is, and our main lines of effort to try to achieve our goals and objectives. And I'm really happy where we're at with that. So number one was joint warfighter development, which is the main job here. Right, building leaders of character. The second line effort was resource optimization, which I feel like we have learned to optimize those resources. We built up the alumni network, thanks to your help with that and several others. which helped fund our trip to Offutt. I think the space we have for the cadre here has been good. The university really supportive in letting us use like shared spaces around campus, including working with teams and using the fields and having competition with different sports teams. So
Right.
those types of using the resources we have, I think that's been going really well. The one we're missing though is that cadet development space for you guys. And then the last one is StratCom, strategic communication, which is all goes into that recruiting and retention. We're doing this today, which is a great idea, Cadet Empey. I love
Thank you,
it.
thank you.
And our social media, so Cadet Brewer is filming for us
We'll
today.
see if you agree in like an hour or so.
Yeah, no, it's all right, Mike. I'm talking is actually helping.
It is,
I think
yeah.
about my tongue.
Takes off the focus.
Yeah, but Cadet Brewer has helped a ton and beef up our social media pages, right? It's communicating with the alumni. Our newsletters, weekend newsletters, are really helping keep those alumni engaged. We went to Offutt a lot because of those newsletters. A lot of them came out and met with us that they wouldn't have known otherwise. So I feel we're Colonel Dwyer, the person before me, inherited a post-COVID. Oh, I wouldn't say mess. It's just post-COVID, challenge. And she had to get back the good order and discipline and kind of build the debt and get it back to a healthy spot. You're sweating a lot.
I am. I'm turning to liquid over here.
And so she was able to tee that up for me to be able to keep building on that. And I've been happy with achieving some of those goals. And a lot of it's because of the awesome upper class cadets that we've had that help lead that. They see that vision, they see the intent, and you're not just, walking with it. You guys are sprinting through brick walls with it. So I've been really happy. If I left today, I'd be happy with what our team here, both cadets and cadre, have been able to accomplish.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. Well, I look forward to it. Sir,
Yeah.
thank you for accepting the invitation.
Thanks for
We did great.
thanks for setting this up. It was a good idea.
Absolutely.
I think this is going to be burning all the way through the afternoon.
Well, to wrap all this up, sir, I want to give you the opportunity to challenge one of our other Air Force ROTC
I
detachment
already did
commanders
some foreshadowing.
to do the same.
All right. Hey, Josh, you heard a lot about Air Force baseball here. Lieutenant Colonel Josh Meents, who this is his first year command at U of I, University of Illinois. Yeah, man, I think you guys are doing well up there, but there's more room to grow. And so I want to see you do this. And I know, if I remember right, you hate spicy food, so I don't think you might get past number 4. But there's
Sounds like a challenge.
there's your challenge, brother.
All right, sir. It's
Yeah.
been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.